Hello and welcome back to another Magic the Gathering EDH deck tech idea. Today we are taking a look at Betor, Ancestor's Voice. It is a 5 mana 3/5 flying lifelink Abzan commander, and just as the other Betor, he has a powerful end step triggered ability. Because at the beginning of your end step, put a number of +1/+1 counters on up to one other target creature you control equal to the amount of life you gained this turn. In addition to that, return up to one target creature card with mana value less than or equal to the amount of life you lost this turn from your graveyard to the battlefield. If you are playing around the triggered ability of Betor, you will build a deck that cares a lot about gaining life and losing life during your turn, which creates quite an interesting deck list. In the list that I have created, I have built a deck that cares about using its triggered ability to simply generate us more value and work towards an infinite combo. In the list that I have created, I have tried to balance life loss and life gain in an equal way, because we always want to get something out of his triggered ability. First of all, we are in Abzan colors and our commander costs 5 mana, so we want to generate a mana advantage, which is why we play cards like Dark Ritual, a 1 mana instant, and you add 3 black mana to your mana pool. Not only is Dark Ritual quite strong on itself, but especially in this deck where a bunch of our 3 mana enchantments include black in their colors, which is why Dark Ritual allows us to have very powerful turn 1 or turn 2 plays. One of the just named powerful turn 2 plays is, for example, with Sky Shroud Claim, a 4 mana sorcery. Search the library for up to 2 forest cards and put them onto the battlefield and then shuffle. On turn 2 we can use Dark Ritual to accelerate our mana to 4 to simply cast Sky Shroud Claim on turn 2, and with that get a huge amount of mana onto the battlefield. We play Elves of Deep Shadow, a 1 mana 1/1, and we can tap it to add a black mana to your mana pool and it deals 1 damage to you. This helps us with our game plan simply because it works into Betor's triggered ability, which makes this a great mana dog in this deck. Of course, we play cards like Nature's Law, a 2 mana sorcery. Search a library for a forest card, put it onto the battlefield and then shuffle. Because we are in Abzan colors and have 3 total color pips, we also play Utopia Sprawl, a 1 mana enchantment, and enchant forest. As it enters, choose a color. Whenever enchanted forest is tapped for mana, its controller adds an additional 1 mana of the chosen color. Because of Betor's triggered ability, we can also reanimate a few ram creatures, just like Sakura Tribe Elder, a 2 mana 1/1, and we can sacrifice it to search our library for a basic land card, put it onto the battlefield tapped and then shuffle. Once we have brought Betor onto the battlefield, we want to lose life and also gain life, and in the following section we will talk about a few cards that will make us lose life while also gaining us card advantage. We play Darkstar Augur, a 3 mana flying 2/3 with Offspring for 1 black mana, and at the beginning of your upkeep reveal the top card of your library and put that card into your hand. You lose life equal to its mana value. One of the just named enchantments that we can play on turn 1 with Dark Ritual is Black Market Connections, a 3 mana enchantment, and at the beginning of your pre-combat main phase choose 1 or more. You can create a treasure token at the price of 1 life, draw a card at the price of 2 life, or create a free 2 color the shapeshifter creature token with Changeling at the price of 3 life. We also play Dark Tutelage, a 3 mana enchantment, and at the beginning of your upkeep reveal the top card of your library and put that card into your hand. You lose life equal to its converted mana cost. One of the best enchantments in this deck that fills up our graveyard and also makes us lose life is Ripples of Undeath, a 2 mana enchantment, and at the beginning of your pre-combat main phase mill 3 cards. Then you may pay 1 mana and 3 life, and if you do, put a card from among those cards into your hand. A creature that we can reanimate and that will also make us lose life is Dark Confident, a 2 mana 2/1, and at the beginning of your upkeep reveal the top card of your library and put that card into your hand. You lose life equal to its mana value. Another enchantment that synergizes really well with Betor because it has lifelink is Unspeakable Symbol, a 3 mana enchantment, and you can pay 3 life to put a 1/1 counter on target creature. Once we have fed our strategy with life loss, we also want to gain life, which is why we play cards like Lafiel, the Bounteous Dawn, a 4 mana 2/2 with lifelink, and at the beginning of each end step, if you gained life this turn, distribute up to that many +1/+1 counters among any number of other target creatures. For even more life gain and also having a win con, we play Grey Merchant of Asphodel, a 5 mana 2/4, and when it enters the battlefield, each opponent loses X life, where X is your devotion to black, and you gain life equal to the life lost this way. Our most powerful turn 1 play is Serra Ascendant, a 1 mana 1/1 with lifelink, and as long as you have 30 or more life, Serra Ascendant gets +5/+5 and has flying. This is great as we lose a bunch of life in this deck, but we also want to stay above 30 life to pump this creature up and use its lifelink mechanic to pump it up even more. We play Twilight Prophet for even more card advantage, a 4 mana 2/4 with flying and descent, and at the beginning of your upkeep, if you have the City's Blessing, reveal the top card of your library and put it into your hand. Each opponent loses X life and you gain X life, where X is that card's mana value. We also play Ikra Shidiki, the Usurper, a 5 mana 3/7 with menace, and whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, you gain life equal to that creature's toughness. This is great for us as a bunch of our creatures have very high toughness and also grow with Betor's triggered ability to gain us a huge amount of life. A great reanimation target is also Children of Corliss, a 1 mana 1/1, and we can sacrifice it so we gain life equal to the life we've lost this turn. You want to win more? You get it. We play cards like Exsanguinate, a 2 mana and X sorcery, and each opponent loses X life and we gain life equal to the life lost this way. This is great to stabilize our life total, and also we can fire this one off for a huge X amount simply because we are in green and naturally ramp. We play Sanguine Bond, a 5 mana enchantment, and whenever we gain life, target opponent loses that much life. Aside from all of the cards that this card goes infinite with, this is also a great card in this deck. Simply we will create huge creatures with lifelink like Betor, and due to that we'll be able to drain one of our opponents for a huge amount. We also play Enduring Tenacity, a 4 mana 4/3, and whenever we gain life, target opponent loses that much life. Furthermore, when it dies, if it was a creature, return it to the battlefield under its owner's control, it's an enchantment. We also play the counterparts for our infinite combo, the Bloodthirsty Conqueror, a 5 mana 5/5 with flying and death touch, and whenever an opponent loses life, you gain that much life. We play the enchantment version, Exquisite Blood, a 5 mana enchantment, and whenever an opponent loses life, you gain that much life. And last but not least, we also gotta play Veto, Fawn of the Dusk Rose, a 3 mana 1/3, and whenever you gain life, target opponent loses that much life. He also has an activated ability that we probably won't activate that often in this deck, but for 5 mana, creatures you control gain lifelink until end of turn. Alright guys, these were a few cards that I would play in Betor, Ancestor's Voice. Let me know which cards you would add to the deck, which legendary creature I shall feature next. Make sure to check out my full deck list in the notes below, and then I would say see you in the next one. Goodbye guys.